Good evening and welcome to Let's Skip You with a Boy Miss Girl 101. Yes, I had to turn off my audio for a bit, but we are ready to go. If ever there was somebody that was passionate about relationships and building healthy relationships, her name will be Lydia Bwachueji. I am your host for tonight, and we are going to be having a very amazing person. He's an icon. In fact, he needs no introduction because he's a household name. I'm sending him a request to join shortly, and once he does, he'll blow your minds. I've been listening to him for over 8 years, I think, and he really is somebody that all of us are privileged to have tonight. Times we're going to make the most of it. Thank you all for joining. I'm taking a moment to acknowledge our sponsors: Fragrances and More GH, Be Nice Catering Services, Volta Mat, Apavon Concepts, White West African, Poundswell, Juice Pot, M Touch Artistry, Triple Tree GH, Jira Events. They are all on Instagram and they do amazing things. You need to patronize them. They help us to bring you these conversations month on month. Our resource person is here, so he's going to join us, and then we would get going. Today we're talking about why marry. Why should we get married? We're going to do that today, and don't go anywhere because, like I said at the beginning, we have some free tickets to give out, and you really need to win one. We have a new sponsor as well. So the business is Picture Magic. I'll tell you more about that very soon. But thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. All of you, thank you for being here. And remember that our YouTube page is live. So you need to go and subscribe, follow and subscribe. And let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Uncle Ebo is here now. Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Uncle Ebo.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing? It's really
Well,
Uncle Ebo here. Good evening, Uncle Ebo.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an honor. It's an absolute honor. I was just telling everyone that I've been listening to you for about 8 years, and we are really blessed to have you join us tonight. Thank you so much.
Well, the pleasure is all mine.
Great. Great. So, Uncle, we want to get right into it so that we can make the most of this 1 hour. So, I mean, you need no introduction, but please tell us a bit about yourself.
I am a storyteller. That is the best introduction you can give me. I am just a storyteller. I am someone who feels very indebted to the grace of God because it is only by the grace of God that I'm still alive and I still get to do what I love to do and get paid for it. So, but more in connection with the topic for today, I have been married for 40 years. And so that is what it is. I think that should do for now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so Uncle, but the topic today is why marry, and I have conversations with a lot of people that don't see the need to get married. They feel like they can get all the perks of marriage without being married, or they feel like they'll be constrained once they get married. They want to live life to the fullest, and they think marriage would not allow them to do that. So that is why we want to have this conversation, and with no other person or no better seasoned person than you, Uncle Ebo, married for over 40 years, impacting so many people. And here, we are here to help people build healthy relationships, and I believe that you do justice to this topic. Uncle Ebo, what would you say marriage is?
Marriage is a commitment. But before I answer the question, let me say that those who question whether it is even worth marriage is worth doing or not are not completely wrong. I would rather that somebody questions the need for marriage than for somebody to jump into it because, well, they say that you should marry, and so he's married. I hope that every young person will question the need for marriage before he or she gets into it. But now to your question, marriage is a commitment. It's a lifelong commitment. If you do not define it that way, then you're going to be in trouble, and you're going to find yourself going through a lot of marriages before you even wake up to the fact that this is what it is. Marriage is a school. It is a school to make us better. It is a school to polish us up. And just as no school is pleasant when you are going through it, so it is that marriage, some parts of marriage is also not that pleasant, because it is going to challenge you. It's going to bring out all your fears and inadequacies and vulnerabilities, but in the end, it will help make you a much better person. So for now, let's stick with those ones, and then we can build on them.
Okay. Okay, so for those of you just joining us, we're having a conversation with Uncle Ebo Whyte on Let's Keep It Real with a Boy Meets Girl 101. Uncle Ebo, like he said, he's a storyteller. He's a very seasoned speaker and host, and we are privileged to have him on today. The topic, why marry, is very important for the young people on here. So please remember to stay tuned till the end. It's going to be very amazing. Uncle Ebo said that marriage is a commitment and a school, to put it simply. What is marriage? What can we say that marriage isn't? So if marriage is a commitment, it's a school that you may go through it without enjoying it. What isn't marriage?
Marriage is not a guarantee of unlimited sex.
Thank you, Uncle Ebo.
A lot of young people, when they think of, especially good people in the sense of those who have their moral compass right, they see marriage as, then I have the freedom to do that which I have, as it were, abstained from. You'll be wrong. Marriage is not a license for unlimited sex. That is not what marriage is at all. Marriage is also not an opportunity to have what should I say, a dignified, not dignified, I'm looking for a particular word, but the essence of what I'm saying, I want to say is that marriage is also not an opportunity for the man to have a house help, to have a maid servant. Because a lot of young men think that I'm going to get married, then there will be somebody to wash my things for me, somebody to cook for me, somebody to clean for me. And that is not it at all. If you go into marriage with that kind of mindset, you're going to be in trouble. So marriage is not just for pleasure. You could have it. But if that is your goal, you are in for the biggest shock of your life. Marriage is also not the opportunity to get somebody who then works more or less like your servant. For the women, marriage is also not the opportunity for you to have a living, breathing ATM card.
Actually, what they say, you're breaking tables. So.
I'm doing what?
You're breaking tables.
Well, so a lot of young people, a lot of young girls are looking for an ATM card in a husband, somebody who would meet every financial need of hers and even of her family. Now, if you went into marriage with those things, no, you'd be wrong. But finally, marriage is also not a baby-making machine.
Okay.
Marriage is complete with or without children. And I know that as Ghanaians, sometimes there are families that have collapsed a marriage because there was no child, which is very, very wrong. They do not understand what marriage is. So those are the things. That is what marriage is not.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Uncle Ebo is here to break all the tables, and that is it. Uncle Ebo, is marriage do or die? If I don't get married, is anything taken from me?
You are complete with or without marriage. You are complete. And if you do not feel complete without marriage, marriage will also not make you complete. I tell people that the formula for marriage is not half plus half equal to 1. You know, the divine order of marriage is that the two shall be one. So how do we arrive at the two being one? And a lot of people make it half plus half equal to 1. So that is how come you find that movie in which the lead character says, "You complete me." Now, if anybody completes you, then you are not worthy of that person, because you shouldn't need anybody to complete you. If you don't come into a relationship complete already, then you'll be a liability to the complete, to the relationship. So the formula for marriage is 1 times 1 equal to 1. In other words, one whole person who can be okay without another person, multiplied by another whole person who is okay without another person, and then they become one flesh. 1 times 1 equal to 1. That is the right formula for marriage. So if you are not married, no, you haven't lost anything. You are not losing anything. I know that a lot of times, young people who are not married look at the way married people are conducting themselves, and they think that, oh, look at how wonderful it is. I can assure you that a lot of the sweetness you see people demonstrate, they demonstrate because they know you are watching them. It is for sure. It's not something that they may be living it in their homes. And so run your race, make your choices, don't rush it when your time is up, and you find the person who can, who you'll be happy to spend the rest of your life with. Oh, then you are blessed, and take the plunge, but not before. Don't marry under pressure. That would be your biggest mistake. Don't marry under pressure. Don't marry because you want to have children. Doesn't work. And don't marry because you want someone to look after you.
Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Ebo. So we want our marriages to work.
Yes.
What should we do or not do so that our marriages can work?
The first thing is that work on yourself. Make sure that you are the kind of person who did not need another person in your life, and yet made a choice that you wanted to spend your life with this one particular person who you'll be okay without, but who you're also happy to have. I hope you understand me. So, this one person, not many people, no, this one person who you are okay without, but you are also happy to have, because you enjoy that person's company, because you love to build something together with this particular person. So that is when you have to. So the first thing you have to do is work on yourself. Make sure you're a complete person. Make sure you overcome your insecurities, because there's nothing that kills romance, a love relationship, more than insecurity. That is where, whenever you see any girl smile at your man, then you want to go and burn the Capitol, the Parliament House. Or if you see any man wave at your girl, then you want to pull a gun, because it is not that the man waved at your girl. It is just that you are feeling very insecure. So work on yourself. Make sure you are insecure and you are very, very secure in your skin. Learn to accept yourself for who you are. And remember that you are not inadequate. You are not an inferior to anybody. If you can get there, you are ready then to consider getting married. Number 2, educate yourself about marriage. Don't just jump into it just because the feeling is there. Feelings can go away. And maybe in the course of this discussion, we'll be able to talk about the feeling of love, because what young people need to know is that that feeling that makes you not sleep properly, that makes you walk on float and walk on air and things like that. That feeling does not last. It comes and goes. And that feeling, to be honest, it's a con. It's a con job. It will make you mess your life up if you don't understand. So try and understand what this whole marriage thing is, the relationship of a love relationship, what love means and all that. And then make sure you don't go in for more what you think you don't deserve. Let me try and explain that. There are people who think, oh, this is a real good deal for me. This guy checks all my boxes, and so I'll marry him. No, that is not good enough. He checks all my boxes, but do I also check all his boxes? I must check all his boxes. Otherwise, the relationship will not be an equal relationship, and it will collapse. So it is not important. It is as important to find the right person as it is to be the right person. Wow. Be the right person for this one. Otherwise, you become a thief, and the relationship won't last. It won't last at all. So those are some of the things to do before you marry.
Okay, thank you. So again, welcome to everybody joining us. We are talking to Uncle Ebo Whyte on why marry. The topic is why marry, and if you've just joined, you've missed so much already. He's really given us a lot of wisdom and things to think about. On the question of what are some of the things that we can do to make our marriages work, Uncle Ebo says that you should work on yourself and overcome your insecurities. You cannot just want somebody without even working on yourself, being prepared for what you want. So you need to work on yourself. Know what you like, what you don't like. Know your strengths and your weaknesses. Know how best you can relate in different circumstances and situations. And then you can be a good fit for somebody else. He also says that you should educate yourself about marriage. I mean, we all meet somebody, the person is handsome, she's pretty, she speaks nicely, he has dough and all that. But if you don't know what you are getting into, you would crash. You cannot get into a car to drive if you don't know how to drive. So before you get into marriage, know about marriage, read about marriage, listen to people talk about marriage. And if you are here listening to Uncle Ebo today, you are on that journey. I mean, learn as much as you can about marriage. You cannot be ill-equipped for something as big and major in your life as this. And the third point he gave us was that don't go in for what you think you don't deserve. And I think this is mind-blowing, because it is so true. If you think that this person, he's way better than me, or she's way out of my league, you will go into the relationship always feeling inadequate, always feeling like you're not a good fit. And I mean, choose somebody that will choose you any day, anytime. Thank you, Uncle Ebo. And
let me add one more thing to that before you go on to your next question. Always seek counsel. Never marry without going through counseling. The two of you. Okay. Seek counsel for yourself, but make sure your partner goes with you for the counsel as well. And look for a counselor who would have time to follow you through your journey. A counselor both of you can hold yourselves accountable to, because you would find that you need it. And then let me add another one. Before you marry, make sure you know his parents. Make sure you know her parents. Don't marry somebody just because you met at the university. The chemistry is fantastic and all that. Don't forget that chemistry can lead to explosion. Yeah. So get to know his people, get to know her people. Yeah. There's a reason. The reason is this: boys grow to be like their fathers. Girls grow to be like their mothers. Now, sometimes it may be very difficult for you to accept that when you see the sexy girl you've just met and you compare with this obese mother and old aging mother, and you think that no, there's no way this pretty girl would ever be like this. Well, she's headed that way. So go home and meet his people. Go home, meet her people. The young man would treat you exactly as his father is treating his wife. Exactly. With time, he will do the same thing. The mother will treat you exactly as her mother is treating the husband. So if you go there and the mother is offhand with the father, you must know that the girl you are marrying will one day show you disrespect, because not because she's a bad person, but we mirror our backgrounds. We are the product of our backgrounds. And so if that is all that person has known, if the young man has known a father who can scream and snap at his wife, he thinks a certain part of him would do that. Now, you know what I find quite frightening in life? Quite often, we emulate the very qualities of our parents that we hate. It's one of the most disturbing things. We emulate not their best qualities. We often emulate the quality of our parents that we hated the most about them. We grow up and we become like that. The number of young people I have met who hated their fathers because they were womanizers and had children outside their marital homes, who themselves are now talking about baby mothers, would alarm you. In the same way, ladies who hated the way their mother screamed in the house and shouted at everybody and insulted everybody, who now find themselves screaming and shouting. So it is important to know this person's background and don't underestimate the effect of a background on an individual. It is possible that your man or your girl may escape the worst of that, but that depends on whether he's aware that he runs the risk of becoming like that. Let me give you my own personal example. My father was alcoholic. Now, my kid brother, we are 5 boys, the 5th of among us, died from an alcohol-related thing. His kidney, alcohol destroyed his kidney. Now, so I knew that I could become alcoholic. And so from my youth, I never played with alcohol. I never touched alcohol. You can tease me, you can laugh at me, I don't care. I am not touching alcohol. Why am I not touching alcohol? Because I know that being the son of an alcoholic, I could become a drunkard. And so I wouldn't even begin and say, oh, me, I will know how to control it. No, I wouldn't. So get to know your partner's background, get to know well. Even if they are dead, ask questions about them. What kind of person were they? That will inform your choice of this person. Otherwise, what will happen is that you go into this only at the emotional level, then the real person surfaces later on. So, I didn't know he was like that. I didn't know he could be like that. But if you had done your homework, you will know. If you had done your homework, you would have known that he could be like that. Why? Because it's in the family.
Thank you, Uncle Ebo. So someone was asking that, so if they come from a broken home, could they also break their marriage? And
yes.
I mean,
yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Children from broken homes are very likely to also have a broken home, unless, as I have said, they are aware of that. You know, if you go around life saying, me, I will never do this, then be careful, because you will do it. As against somebody who is humble enough and admit that I know I can go this way, but I don't want to go this way. How do I guarantee that I don't go this way? That's a very different thing. And that person, once he has that mentality, has already increased the chances of not repeating the mistakes of his parents by more than 60%.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's very true. Thank you. So like all the points, I mean, they all fit into each other. If you know where you come from, you actually, it will be better for you when you're even seeking counseling to know the things to address. Some of us go
Yeah.
into counseling, we try to hide everything, want to paint a perfect picture for our counselor, but they are not going to be in the marriage. They are there to help you to make the best of your marriage. So have these conversations, get to know each other better, get to know each other's background. Yes, you're not marrying their parents, but they have an impactful role that they have already played and may still play even after
Yeah.
marriage. So
Yeah.
please, let's get to know our partner's background. Don't just cut off somebody's parents or whatever because you think they are poor or they are uneducated or whatever. They have played a role in the lives of your partner, and so you should spend the time, you should take the time to get to know them, get to know how they think, and then it will even help you to understand your partner better when they are doing or saying certain things. Okay. Uncle, is it
Yep.
is there any benefit to not being married? I hear a lot of young. I remember before, I think in school, like right after school, national service, that about one lady told me that she doesn't want to get married because after you get married, you have kids, you can't go back to school, you can't do this and this. Are there any handicaps that come with being married? Let me put it that way.
Yeah, there are. There definitely are. There are lots, because once you get married, you have to stop saying I. You have to start saying we. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
It is no longer I want to go to school. It is we are going to school, because even though you'll be the only one who goes to school and sits in the classroom, your going to school has implications for others. In other words, once you marry, you must understand that you become like a business with stakeholders. Your husband is a stakeholder. The children, when they come, they are stakeholders. Your parents are stakeholders. Your siblings are stakeholders. His mother, his parents are stakeholders. His siblings are stakeholders. And so whenever you are taking a decision, you have to take a decision having taken into consideration all these people and how it is going to impact them, because it will impact them. So it doesn't mean you can't take the decision. You can take the decision, but you must answer, how would it impact them, and how can I minimize their impact, or how can I recruit them, the stakeholders, to help minimize the issues that my going to school or making a trip abroad may cause. But the advantages of not being married, well, freedom. You come and go as you want. You get home tired. If you don't want to take your bath, you don't want to take your bath, you go and sleep. If you are married, it's a no, no, no. You can't come to bed not taking your bath. Because if you do that, then it means that evening, don't ask for ministration, because it won't happen. So that is one. The opportunity to build deep relationship with your friends, which may not be there when you get married. When you get married, you building a deep relationship with anybody could create a lot of trouble. But when you're not married, that is it. Pursuing your interests when you're not married, you don't need anybody's permission. This is my passion. I want to do it, and that is it. When you are married, again, you have stakeholders. You can't. For instance, let me give you an example. For our next play is called Just the Tip. It would open to the public coming Friday, 24th of March.
Uncle Ebo, I think we've lost your sound. Yeah. We cannot hear you, Uncle. You just came back on. We can hear you now.
Hello?
Yes, Uncle, we can hear you now.
I'm sorry. You know, I belong to the generation that I call the
BBC, before computer, born before computer. And so I've had to use gadgets belonging to my staff. So I am not that conversant with them. So that is how come there was. But I was going to give you an example before I had the problem with the sound. Okay. I was saying that you can pursue your passion with as much abandon and freedom in marriage as you could when you are not married. And I was going to give you the example of my next play. My latest next play is called Just a Tape. It will open to the public on Friday, 24th of March, and run till the 2nd of April. Now, we have been rehearsing since 10 a.m. I took this hour off to come to attend to you. From here, I am going back. We're going to close at 9 p.m. today. Now, if you are a single person, you can be part of the rehearsals without any headache, without having to wonder, hey, is there food in the house? Or no. But if you're a married person, you immediately need the permission of your partner to allow you to do this. And even then, you'll find that whilst you're at rehearsal, then the calls are coming. Where are you? Why are you not home? And what are we going to eat? So there's quite a lot of freedom in not being married.
Yeah. Okay, so being married is good, but it has its limitations, like Uncle Ebo is saying. I remember, I think sometime last week, I had a talk with some people at Calvary Presby, and we're talking about maintaining a dignified single life. And I told them that as a single person, you are blessed, you are not cursed. Because most of us think that being single is a burden, and we spend our whole single time wishing to be married. And so you get married and you miss out on the time when you were single. Uncle Ebo, how can we make the most of our single life? Because I believe that it is a blessing. Yeah. And if you spend all your time waiting to get married, you miss out on that phase of life. Yeah. And what if you don't even get married? Then you would just continue running in a circle of misery. So how do we make the most of our single time, our singlehood?
I think the first thing is to recognize that you are not inferior because you are not married. A lot of girls put pressure on themselves and think that what is wrong with me? Why am I not married? Nothing like that at all. There's nothing wrong with you. In fact, some of the most wonderful girls I know are not married. And sometimes you meet a girl who is married and you go, oh, yeah. And you wonder, yeah, well, but that is not. So the first thing is to understand that, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. Number two, that you are not missing much. And sometimes I meet young people who are not married and they think that, oh, if I was married, I would not be alone. Loneliness. Then I'll have company. Hey, you lie bad. Ask the married women that you know. And ask them how many of them have company and companionship in their husbands. They may be married. Yes, the man may come home. And yet they don't have the man. So it is not that if I'm married, my loneliness will go away. No, you could be married and still be lonely. And a lot of married people, married women in particular, are lonely. Number three, pursue your dreams. What are your dreams? I love the attitude of a young lady I met who said, the men are not coming. So I have made up my mind that whichever man comes will meet me, will catch me on the move. Will have to run to catch me on the move because I'm not going to sit down waiting for him. I will be on the move. So if he wants me, let him run after me and catch me. So what are your goals? What are your dreams? Add value to yourself and go as far as you can. And then number four, build meaningful relationships. Build meaningful relationships with your friends. Deepen some of those relationships because sometimes some of those relationships can see you through the worst of times better than a husband or a wife may do. And you realize my emphasis here have been on the women because women we don't really care. we don't really care. Left to the average man, he won't even bother with marriage. And quite often it is because we
because of our ignorance that we get married. Because Andrew Adote, one of my sons, adopted sons, said, we wake up as men, he said, as men, we are going about our business. Then we wake up one day and they say we are married. and even though he said that in jest, it is truer to the real situation with boys than you would believe it is. So you are not missing anything. You are not inadequate. Chase your passion and deepen relationships with your friends, and also deepen your bond with your family, because family never goes away. Yeah. So with your siblings, and if your siblings, any of your siblings have children, that is also an opportunity to deepen and bond with those children so that you have another family beyond the family you began with.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Uncle. So somebody is saying that you talked about marriage not being like do or die. Let's put it that way. So is there any benefits to being married?
But I think we have dealt with that, haven't we? Or benefit to being married? Oh yes, there is. Otherwise, the Bible wouldn't have recommended it in the first place. The obvious benefit is the one reason why Ghanaians will push every woman into marriage, being, well, then you can have children. Then the support that you can get. But beyond this, in these times, you can get the support even without marriage. Depending on what kind of relationship you've built and things like that, you can get them. So yes, the benefit of being married comes in particular to the personalities who can't survive being alone. There are personalities who have become so dependent that they can't conceive of life being alone. They may jump at the idea of being married, but even then, they struggle once they get married, because you see, if you need marriage, marriage will bite you. If you need marriage and you marry, marriage will bite you.
Uncle, please throw more light on that one.
Okay. You know, but it's even a principle. It's not just a principle with marriage. But have you realized this, that life gives you what you don't want, what you don't need. When you need something badly, life will ignore you. When you don't need it, then everybody's throwing it at you. I don't know. Have you ever done a fast before?
Yes.
Have you realized that it is on the days you are fasting that people bring you food?
Yeah, free food. Office party. Yeah.
Or then people then invite you out. You know, oh, we are going to eat. Please come along. Yeah. Let's go. Meanwhile, these are people who have never invited you to the day you said you are fasting.
Yeah.
But that is a principle. When I was not driving, when I didn't own a car, nobody offered me his car. Today, I go to somebody's office and he sees me off. And if I'm going to an office that is not too far from my office, I prefer to walk. So I go do the business I have come to do. I am leaving, and the person says, "Oh, let me see you off to your car." And I said, I didn't bring a car. And the person is prepared to give me his car key. So okay, you take it. I'll let my driver come and pick it later. Or let my driver go and drop you. Why? Because I don't need a car. If I needed a car, it will not be offered. Let me even broaden it. Have you realized that every time you sat for exams, that the results of the exams meant the world to you, the chances are that you didn't do well in that exams. It is the exams that you went into with a certain casual approach and said, well, look, I've done what I can do. If I pass, fine. If I don't pass, hey, life goes on. Those ones, it comes and you blow the paper and you wonder, hey, really? It's a principle of life. So if you need marriage badly, if you are desperate to marry, the biggest mercy God can show you is to make sure he keeps marriage away from you. Because if you marry, marriage will destroy you. You will not find happiness in marriage because you were so desperate for it.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Somebody is saying if that's the principle, then he doesn't need money. So money will now find him.
Well,
Uncle, we have some.
No, there's truth there. Everybody who has chased money at the expense and at the cost of everything else has always paid a very dear price with his health, with his relationships, and in the end, the money has not benefited him. No. Those who make real money are those who work hard to put value. They put value, providing value above the money. Anyone who chases money directly does not make money. The people who chase service, who chase quality, who chase excellence, they are the ones who make money. They were not looking at money. Money chases them.
It comes as a byproduct. Yeah. Okay. Uncle, my last but one question. You know, you mentioned you being born before computer, but some of us were born after the computer, and we are all about showing like, oh, we have a perfect marriage, we have a perfect relationship, and all that, and that is what people see. And then people now become so glued to it that they go into their own marriage expecting that picture perfect marriage. Is there anything like a marriage that's free of challenges that we see on social media today?
Is there anything like?
Is there any marriage free of challenges like we see on social media today?
The social media marriage is always, when you see these things, note the date and see how long it will take before you see another person that they have separated.
Okay.
Because there's no marriage that is trouble-free or conflict-free. There's a principle that I think we can take home from this program, and it is this: good marriages and bad marriages have the same set of problems. The only difference is in how the problems are handled. Can I say that again? Yeah. Good marriages, bad marriages have the same set of problems. The difference is in how the problems are resolved. So a marriage is not working because they've been spared. A marriage is working because they have learned how to handle the issues better. And a marriage is not in trouble because they have too many problems. No, they have the same problems like others. But the marriage is not working because they haven't learned how to handle the issues. But coming back on your social media world and things like that, your generation, you have to explain something to me. Why are you putting everything about you in public? Where's your privacy now? Why is everything? Do you realize that nobody needs to know certain things about you?
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know what you ate. Nobody needs to know where you went for vacation. Nobody needs to know your baby that was born today. You know, I was upset with one of my adopted sons when he put a picture of his newborn baby on social media the day he was born. And I was asking him, do you know why our elders hide a baby for a week before they bring the baby out? There's a reason. You are putting your lives at risk in many ways by putting everything out there on social media. Please protect yourselves. Please protect yourselves. Let some parts of you be for you. Let them be for you. Nobody needs to know.
Yeah. My husband is here clapping for you on that one. Okay. Uncle, my final question, and then please you tell us a bit more about your upcoming play, for which we have some free tickets for people who are on the live session today, so don't go anywhere. Uncle.
Yes.
What should we consider? You know, sometimes there are things that I'll say is a red flag for me, but to somebody else it's okay. They can live with it. But what would generally be a red flag, no matter who the person is or how long you've gone on your dating relationship? What should be a deal breaker for any relationship?
If the person does not respect you, that's a no-no. You know, unfortunately, and this happens a lot with ladies, you justify the bad conduct of the boy too much. You know, and then I hear girls say, oh, he's not a bad person, or it's just that nobody understands him. Well, there's a good reason why nobody understands it. So if the girl doesn't respect you, it's a no-no. If the boy doesn't respect you, it's a no-no. If the person does not respect your people, especially your parents, it's a no-no. It's a no-no. If the person shows disrespect to his parents, you should run from that person. Because if his own parents, he can disrespect them, then you, who came into his life when he was an adult, oh, he will disrespect you and not feel anything at all. If the person is lazy, it's a no-no. If the person is ill-tempered, when he loses his temper, he really loses it. Like, for instance, you are going on a date, he's driving, and a truck driver crosses him, and he wants to get out of the car to go and fight. Allow him to get out of the car, you to get out of the car and pick a tiger back up. Because you are dating a tiger, and he would consume you one day. Temper, you know, towards the end of last year, if you remember, there was all this spate of men killing their spouses.
Yeah.
You know, and where did it begin? It began in these small ways. Temper. Oh, he will change. He will change. No, he won't change. By the way, on the issue of he will change, listen to me carefully. People don't change. And you can't change anybody. The only person you can change is yourself, but you can't change your partner. So those who go into a relationship and say, I will change him, stop lying to yourself. You won't be able to change him. Or I'll change her. You lie bad. You can't change anybody. And it is only when the person decides that I want to change, that is when there could be a change. So let's note this. These are some of the notes. Somebody who always needs money or who consumes money as somebody eats roasted granules, you should be careful of that person. If the person does not know the value of money, there will always be stress in your home. Always will be stress if you get married. It doesn't matter how much you earn, there will always be stress. So what that person's attitude to money? What that person's attitude to people of your tribe? Watch that. So I'm a fanti. If I'm moving with a girl who shows contempt for fanties, I'll be a fool to say, oh, I can move with this girl because it is not me he was referring to. No. He will disrespect you because you are a fanti. In the same way, if you are a northerner and the person that has no respect for northerners, you must know, no. Even if the person says, oh, no, but you are different. What do you mean by I'm different? I'm so come from that place. One day you tell me. Yeah. One day you tell me I'm a northerner. One day you tell me I'm a fanti. So those are some of the things to watch. Someone who has no control of his sexual appetite, run away from that person. Be boy or girl. Because if a person has no self-control, he is a disaster waiting to happen. And he will cause you a lot of pain. So those are just a few things.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Uncle Ebo. We have to let you go in a few minutes. But before you go, we want you to tell us a bit about your upcoming play. I mean, I've watched a lot of your plays, so I need no convincing to buy a ticket for any of the upcoming plays. But this particular one, just the tip, please tell us a bit more about it and why anyone who hasn't bought their ticket yet should buy one.
Well, just the tip is my most significant play. Significant because of the topic that I am treating this time around. It's a topic and a theme that there isn't any living human being who hasn't gone through that. And it has to do with living with aging parents. How to cope with your aging parents. But that is only one side of it. That's the broad thing. But inside that, I tell I tell 3 different love stories. A love story of a couple who should have been married 30 years previously. They went their separate ways. After 32 years, they find themselves back together. What happens to them? That one, if you pay your ticket and you come, you will know. And then there's a marriage that has lasted for almost 70 years. How did it last? The secret comes out, and then all kinds of other things. So solid stories, a series of stories, but all within the context of when our parents age, how do we relate to them? The challenges of taking care of our aging parents is, don't underestimate what a challenge it is. And so come and learn a few tricks, a few insights as to how you can cope.
Yeah. Thank you. And please, if you've not bought your tickets, early bird tickets are still available at 150 cedis only. So please get to the nearest Shelf War station. In fact, call any of the Roverman lines and then get your tickets, or DM Roverman on Instagram and get your ticket, because we're all going to be there. So if you don't come, you'll miss out, and we'll share photos and you will not be part. So please make sure you buy your tickets early bird for 150 cedis. Uncle, before you go, any last general words, final advice to all of us on this live? Some people are married, some are not. Some are in marriages, they are not happy. Some are in happy marriages. I mean, any last words to all of us?
Well, in the first place, congratulations to you. I think this platform is a fantastic platform.
Thank you.
Any platform that helps us prepare for our future and helps us to do the best we can is a fantastic one. And so I equal to you and to your team. And for any young person listening to me, you owe it to yourself to be happy. You owe it to yourself to build a future that would enhance everything God bless you with, and not a future that robs you of your joy. I pray for every one of you that even till you are in your 90s and 100s, you wake up every day excited, because you know you are living your best possible life. God bless and keep every one of you. May He sustain you, and may He fill you with laughter.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Uncle. Uncle, someone is asking when you are resuming the online broadcast of your play, so that those in the diaspora can start watching again.
We're still working on it. The problem with the online things was that we run into all kinds of security issues, and people. In one case, a church bought one ticket and then showed it to the whole church. They paid just one ticket, and then put it on their flat light TV and showed it to the whole church. A few things, people who recorded and attempted to sell, and so those are the challenges that we've had. But my team keeps on exploring and experimenting with different kinds of security mechanisms, and as soon as we have all those things ironed out, our hope was to run the physical shows side by side with the digital shows at the same time, so that, for instance, on the 24th of March, we premiere Just the Tip. Then people anywhere in the world can also watch us online. That is what we are working towards. And as soon as we are ready, we'll let you all know.
Yeah. Okay, Uncle, thank you. Uncle, someone is also asking when you are going to resume Encore, our Friday companion. When are you bringing that back as well?
Encore. I miss Encore. I miss Encore terribly. And the team is still working on, we wanted to rebrand it. We wanted to ensure that we get the right kind of people.
Okay.
It got to a time I didn't quite like the quality of guests I was bringing you.
Okay.
And so we trying to get a producer who would then go out, who has the clout to bring you the best possible set of guests that can impact all of us. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Okay, thank you, Uncle, and thank you everyone who has joined us. Again, want to acknowledge our sponsors: Fragrances and More GH, Be Nice Catering Services, Walter Matt, Pavon Concepts, White West African, Pounds World, Jew Sports, M-Touch Artistry, Triple Tree GH, and Jira Events. Thank you all. Please get your tickets for the next Uncle Ebo Whyte play, Just the Tip. It's coming up this coming weekend and the next weekend, and you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. We have today, we're giving away 3 free tickets to some people that have joined us. Some people that have joined us the first. In fact, I think I'll just announce it on my page. So we'll end this one for today, saying thank you so much for joining us. God bless you so much. I hope that you learned a lot, and we'll be back next month with even much more exciting content. Bye for now.